you're new,
Yeah,
I'll get
yeah.
you to tell everyone about yourself, okay?
Uh,
Okay, hello
no
everyone.
worries. Hi guys.
Thank you all for joining us. Okay, almost late again. Got busy chatting. All right. Okay, so again, welcome to the Aussie Carnivore Connection. I hope you're all well, having a great day or night wherever you are, or maybe. So again, we've got on the panel Dave Mack, and we're joined today by Joff. So
Hey
Joff, you want
guys.
to introduce yourself a bit? Tell us about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. First off, thanks Dave and thanks DC for having me on the Aussie Connections. So I'm Joff. Reside here in Brisbane, Australia. Um, and I'm a registered nurse and soon to be a health coach. And I've been doing carnivore diet for about 2 years and 5 months, I think. Yeah, 2 years and
Wow,
5 months.
excellent.
Hmm.
Almost 2.5 years.
Yeah, yeah, pretty
Wow.
much. Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. So from the 2.5 years, have you been like a strict carnivore?
Yes, except for 1 month where I was carnivore Monday to Friday, and weekends was a binge fest of just, and that was during Christmas that just gone. I
Okay.
thought I would just give it a go and see how my body would take it, and it did not respond very well. Apart from that, I've been, yeah, there you go, pretty much full on carnivore, except for the coffee. That's the only thing that isn't carnivore in my diet currently. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
Mm.
you're still on coffee regularly,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
okay?
quite regularly. Uh, on the daily, but that's a non-negotiable at this time. I have gone periods without coffee, so I've gone the full carnivore for periods of time, and I felt great. But hey, I'm not perfect like everyone else, and it's one of
Oh,
those
we're all
things that
human.
we've just
Yeah.
gotta, you know,
Mm. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So 2.5 years.
Mm.
What brought you to carnivore?
Oh, look, in a condensed version, I really was just desperate. I was desperate to try and find, um, the fixes to a lot of the issues that I was experiencing.
Okay.
So at the time, I started carnivore. So I'm 32 now. I was 29 years of age, and I always had this mindset that by the time I hit 30, and I'm sorry if I offend anyone, guys, not to offend anyone, but basically, when I had this mindset that if I hit 30, everything's going to go downhill with my health. Um,
Well,
and
you're getting
so,
old at 30, aren't you, Dave?
yeah.
Yeah. It's ancient.
um, but yeah, so I was in this desperation mode. But I was pretty metabolically unhealthy. I was obese. I was about 100 kilos. And I'm 165 centimeters, so I was a pretty podgy, short
Yeah.
little kid. And I had a lot of issues that I was experiencing with with my heart. I had high blood pressure, palpitations, and yeah, it was not fun. But once
Yeah.
once I did find the carnivore diet, I watched videos online. Started off with low carb keto because that was what was coming up in the algorithms, and then sort of the familiar faces that you'd see within the carnivore community, like Dr. Sean Baker, um, Professor Bart Kay, Ken Berry, Dr. Chafee. They all started popping up in my feed, and I thought, oh, this is a bit crazy. But
Yeah.
hey, everyone seems to say it's doing people a lot of good. And then
Yeah.
the day I decided, yeah, let's do it. Let's go carnivore. It wasn't that hard because I was already keto, low carb. I only had to get rid of 3 other or less than 10 other things that weren't carnivore, and yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty much smooth sailing from there.
Cool. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I find it much easier. Most people have a much easier transition between like keto to carnivore than rather than the standard Western diet, of course.
Yeah.
So you're not too far off. It's like I always say like you're always like about 90% there, but that extra 10%, like, is a world of difference. But the transition, the extra 10% is it's nothing really, but that the benefits are fantastic. So
yeah. Pretty much since that switch, like the gears, I don't know how to explain it. It just changed. The weight loss just kept coming at a lot faster, and everything just started to, all the things that people said they experienced in keto was the the being fat adapted and just the euphoria. I was getting all that on the carnivore diet. Like it was just
yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, it doesn't look real good when you're a nurse and you're obese, does it?
No, I could. No. It was very hard to keep up, on a busy shift. You're on your feet for 8 to 12 hours sometimes, and when you see a nurse that doesn't look to be of best health, it can be hard. Yeah,
it's a little like I've been in the hospital system for so long, like, but it always made me laugh. It's like these people, when you get in treatment, for example, you see these very unhealthy sort of nurses and doctors. Some of them go outside, have a cigarette, and they come back in. They eat nothing but junk food. They're obese, and you think you're in the healthcare center, like the healthcare industry, and this is what you're doing. This is what you look like. I mean, surely you should be, like what you look like. You sort of present yourself, as a professional. It's kind of funny, really. It's a bit ironic, isn't it?
Advice when you should eat less and move more, and you got someone that looks like a.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the dietary advice you get, some of them are pretty funny. Some of them actually told me that, if you eat junk food, it because it's low in nutrients, you won't feed the cancer. So it's actually better for you, healthier for you.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, of course I knew it was burgers when they said it, but it was I just couldn't believe it actually came out of their mouths. They said, like, because they was next to the hospital, right next to the I mean, even downstairs in the hospital there's plenty of junk food places, like you got Subway and like crappy restaurants and whatnot, but like across the road, and they told me, there's one of the nurses actually said, there's Hungry Jack's across the road there if you want something.
I know the hospital you're talking about.
Yeah. So it's like, I said to him, that can't be good for you. And it's like, well, then she says, well, because they're low on nutrients, then it can't feed the cancer, so you should be okay. It would actually help you fight the cancer. All right. I don't think that works.
Ooh, glad you didn't listen to that. Advice.
But I mean, it's really not any better than the food they give you in the hospital anyway. Like the food they give you is disgusting. Honestly, even at the time, like I used to joke about it, but honestly now looking back, it's actually true. I think they're absolutely trying to kill you with the food. It really is horrible stuff. It's just nothing but carbs, sugar, and just so much garbage. Crazy stuff. Yeah, cool. So, how long have you been a nurse then?
Good question. I've been a nurse since 2010.
Oh, okay.
14 years. 14 years. Yeah. I've been a nurse. Mainly worked in in hospital ward settings, but I've sort of been around a lot of the areas, and right now I'm currently working as a ward nurse. So cool. Shift work. Hey, lovely.
Yeah. That's hard. I used to do shift work when I was studying. It was. Sometimes you pull on, like sometimes you go work all night and then go college all day and then have a half-hour kip before you go back to work. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, you get that. You got to do what you got to do, don't you? So
But it's much
Yeah.
easier actually being on a carnivore diet whilst being on shift work because most of us will eat once a day, twice a day. So I sometimes just go to work not having anything, and mate, I got free time in my hand on my 30 minutes or
That's the thing.
morning
It's
tea.
such a time saver.
Yeah.
And more
Carnivore diet
energy,
is
right?
such a time saver.
Oh, more energy, yeah. Yeah, people look at me
Yeah.
like crazy, like how are you, surviving your shift without having anything to eat? I'm like, well, I ate before I came to work. If that helps, but no.
Yeah, I think it helps a lot. You're much lighter too. You've got more energy because you're not carrying that excess weight around as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it makes a big
Absolutely.
difference.
Yeah. Oh, sorry,
So
guys.
do
Before I
you?
go on, can I stream this on my YouTube channel? I've got
Yeah,
the
man.
button here. I've never done
It
this
should
before.
be button up the top there on
Yeah,
the
the
should be on
right
your
hand
right
side.
side. Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
All right, bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll just be typing away. Yeah.
You're right, man. Yeah. Well, we talk time saver. Yeah, it's amazing that how much time you
definitely.
save. Yeah. I mean, something you can just. I mean, it's just give you so much more time to go and do everything else you need to do. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, I guess, applicable to anyone, really.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, everyone needs time. Everyone needs more time. So, save time by cutting, back on meals. As long as you get good healthy meals, a lot of nutrients. What about exercise? Do you exercise to help get rid of the weight, or
No,
just came out?
actually, I did not. Did not. So I've got a long history of exercise. So I considered myself a gym junkie. I pretty much trained in the gym since I was in my late teens up until before I turned carnivore. Before I went carnivore, I actually had to stop going to the gym for 2 years because of the health issues that I was having, and I just had to put a pause on that. But since shedding the weight off the carnivore diet, with doing the carnivore diet, I was able to pick that passion back up again. And so I wouldn't say it aided so much in the weight loss because a lot of the weight that I had already lost on carnivore was done without, with just the diet change alone. I would say it helped me put more muscle and a lot more endurance and I guess stamina on my day to day. For some context, I lost about 40 kilos in total.
Wow.
So 40 kilos.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Excellent. All right. So, Dave, you want to tell anyone what you got going on this week?
Get for joining us. What's going on this week? Not very, just a regular week. Just doing the Japan thing and the YouTube thing, and things going on smoothly. A few interviews and stuff, but that's about it. How about
Nice.
you, DC? How are things going with you?
Yeah, much the same. Cruising along. I'm going to try a few different directions this week. I'm going to go back to maybe do some more exercise inspired videos, I think. So
Nice.
and I might. I've got to talk about some of the stupid garbage that has been coming out of some influencers recently, in particularly vegan influencers, because they just, I mean, utter nonsense that comes out of these people. It's just, it's beyond belief sometimes. So I might do something about that soon. But apart from that, not a lot. But I do have some good stuff coming up, actually. So stay tuned for that, everyone, because I've got a couple of good people, some brilliant people coming on to the channel soon for an interview. So stay tuned for that because you're going to be very interesting. So,
Nice.
okay, so let's talk about some of the things that people will go through when they go carnivore. Okay, we've got a lot of experience here between the three of us.
Mm.
All low carb for a number of years. So let's talk about some of the what would be the negative things that you find going low carb, health wise.
Mm.
Can you think of anything?
Health-wise.
Mm.
Initially, like headaches and stuff, I guess, but those are transient. It's like the diarrhea and stuff as well. It's kind of transient, but yeah, it's a big issue at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the gut issues as well. That would be, what I hear a lot of people talk about, trying to adjust with, the sudden changes in your diet. For myself, I didn't experience too many, and, I guess you'd say side effects or negative issues, apart from, the to and forth with constipation and diarrhea, which I think you just have to find that middle ground and try to find that right sweet spot with ratio of fats versus protein.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've always been the same with that. It's something you always have to measure, work out for yourself. No one's going to be able to tell you how much you should take in.
No.
There's so many different things that you have to take into account when you are working out your protein, for example. And your your height, your weight, or the weight that you want to be, your activity, your ethnicity, your age, and there's just, it's not rocket science. It's not hard to work out, but no one can do it for you. Okay, so not going to be able, certainly not going to be able to tell you over a YouTube video. That's for sure. But fat should always be your priority. Okay, for health reasons. Okay, that should always be your priority. And I know people get fat phobic because they think if you eat too much fat, you're going to get fat. But the thing is, it's very, very, very difficult for your body to hold on to dietary fat. Okay, it can't. It almost cannot do it. Okay, unless you eat sugar with it. If you eat sugar with dietary fat, then it can hold on to it. But other than that, especially if you're on a clean carnivore diet, a high fat diet, it can't hold on to the fat anyway. That's when you get the diarrhea if you have too much, for example. So don't be afraid of the fat. Fat is your friend. Okay? Dietary fat is your friend, not oils. I got a Greek copper's kitchen here. Vegan and influencer should not be in the same sentence. Yeah, damn right. The same as vegan doctor should not be in the same sentence either. Okay. Any doctor that says they are vegan, you should just walk away straight away, because they have absolutely no clue what they're talking about. So, and it's just it's just ridiculous to think that anyone who thinks that they are educated in nutrition when they're not, okay, like a GP, for example, and then tells you that going vegan is the right thing to do for your body, sort of thing. They're just regurgitating bullet points from crap education and propaganda. So, there you go. You said, Joff, you said before you're studying to be
health coach.
Health coach. So, what are you studying nutrition? Are you or?
Yeah. So I'm studying through the Primal Health Institute. It's it's a pathway that I've always wanted to take, and I guess the reason for that being, I obviously work in healthcare already, and with my own personal story and seeing my transformation, I thought, wow, how awesome would it be to actually help other people achieve the same thing? And so I thought, man, this will be great too, because I'm helping people in their most vulnerable moment, being in hospital, and I'm helping people outside of that to basically, I don't want to see patients in hospital. I don't like seeing people in hospital.
I agree. One of the things, one of the reasons I started YouTube is like my goal is to get as many people off medications as possible.
Yeah.
If you get people healthy, I mean, we can talk about all the politics and the people that cause all the problems in the world and that sort of thing, but that's all sort of down the line. Like if people are healthy, off medications, and not reliant on these pharmaceuticals and everything, and hospitals and whatnot, all that goes out of business.
Yeah.
So I think that's you focus on people's health, and especially preventing illness is a great way to go. So that's good. Yeah. So where's the primal? Was it the Primal Health Institute?
Primal Health Institute. Yeah. I come across it. Well, I was looking at courses to do, and this was something that sort of aligned with I guess as close as my sort of philosophy. I was actually looking at studying to become a dietitian, and it just didn't align with how I wanted to. So I stay clear from that. But I think nah, not for me. So it's a short course, it's about 6 months. I started it late last year, so I should be nearly done. So watch the space if people are.
Well, even short courses are a good segue into something bigger. Later on,
that's right,
it gives you a heads up on different courses. So it's always good to have. Like I always say to people, like, it doesn't matter if you ever use the education that it's always a benefit to have more knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
It's never a negative thing.
Yeah.
Even if you do study with like dietitian associations and things like that, it's still knowledge. And when you get out, you just go against them.
You just the only thing is you have to grit your teeth for the length of time that you're studying there. You say, every day.
Grit your teeth with frustration, shake a few heads, slap a few people.
Well, I actually studied a course, and I thought it was closely aligned to the keto carnivore sort of mindset. But the moment I started hearing carbohydrates and calories, I just thought, oh no, I can't do this. It's very hard. I just don't have the integrity to continue. Like I have to say my mind if if I feel like it's not.
Yeah, people start talking about calories and you think, oh no, Jesus. You want to slap them, really. So wake up. Anyway, what do you do? Just a reminder, folks, if you have any questions, please put a couple of Q's in front of it. That way we can see them easier. And I don't want to miss anyone's questions. So I'll try and get to all of the comments as well. The negative side on low carb is trying to convince others, it's no good to eat crap. Yeah, that's right. That's more social sort of negative, isn't it?
Yeah.
They can't take any of that knowledge away from you. That's right. It's very easy to lose everything sort of around you in life, except the one thing you can never lose is your knowledge. Okay, as long as you do forget things, but once you have that knowledge base there, it's pretty easy to pick things back up. So I think it's time is going to pass anyway, so you might as well study, or you might read a book or do something. So it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
It's always time's always going to pass, so you might as well fill it up with something. Okay, so I think that's another. When we're talking about calories, that's another thing that even carnivores, some carnivores still try to count calories. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
for some reason it's a very stubborn belief that you have to count calories,
It's
even
just
for carnivores.
conditioning, right? It's just
Yeah,
conditioning. It's the same as not being able to get used to eating like as much fat as you want, right?
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mm.
yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah, um, yeah. A lot of people do suffer with that when they first start. They undereat totally, and especially in fat. Because they think, oh, there's like every gram of fat has 9 calories, so they're scared of the
Mm-hmm.
calorie content, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so it's kind of it's a dogma that's hard to die, you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
Very. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
Food
tell people
companies
that,
and the pharmaceutical companies have really damaged
mm,
things so badly.
they
oh
have,
yeah,
definitely have.
Sorry, Joe.
Absolutely.
yeah,
No, you're right. I was just gonna say, like, I just tell people the way I look at it is that, if you've cut out carbohydrates from your diet and you eat a species specific diet, which is the carnivore diet, your body does the calorie counting for you.
yeah,
Your requirements and your needs for energy, it's managed by your genes, and your body knows what it's doing. It's not stupid. Um so in saying that, you're in this carnivore journey, um and you're a lot more tuned into your instincts, I guess.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's right.
mm,
Well, look,
Yeah.
I keep repeating this. Your body. There's more wisdom in your body than in all the philosophy of the world.
mm,
Friedrich Nietzsche said that, and yeah, it's absolutely true. I mean, your body is brilliant. It is a very resilient machine that knows exactly what it is doing from one moment, from 1 second to the next. That's why I keep telling people, like, don't worry about what your cholesterol level is. Don't worry about what anything else is. It is exactly what the your body needs for that at that particular moment. You know,
mm.
Mm.
and it will fluctuate and that sort of thing. So,
Yep. Yeah.
um,
But Dave, you brought up a good
Yeah.
point about conditioning.
mm,
You're, you know, that sort of applies with a lot of things as well. Like,
mm,
and DC, you
Mm.
brought up the cholesterol. Like, people automatically, when they see cholesterol levels, like I see this all the time in large carnivore group pages. Here are my blood results. What do you guys think? What should I do? It's a red alert, and it's like, well, come on, guys.
Yeah.
yeah,
We've been
Yeah.
conditioned to think this way.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to think about it's a lot of conditioning. You know,
Yeah.
it's in the education, it's in the propaganda. Yeah, there's every health ad on TV is like low fat, low cholesterol. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, it's nuts. I mean, it is absolutely everywhere. There is a
Mm.
lot of conditioning, so you can understand that
Yeah.
Yeah.
for general people, for a lot of people, it's a dogma that's going to be very difficult to
Mm.
die. You know.
Very, very.
Mm. Well,
A
one of the
question here.
biggest issues I see with this. Oh, sorry. Can I just finish
You're
this?
right, mate. You're right.
One of the biggest issues I see with this conditioning is doctors, because
Yeah.
if, for example, like most doctors are like, high cholesterol is bad, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you
Mm,
go to the doctor, and if you've got high cholesterol, they can't see past that. They're so
yeah.
conditioned to believe that any problem must be associated with that one factor that they can see on a blood test. They
Yeah.
they can't look at anything else. So I don't know. You could have some condition that's perhaps related to the high cholesterol, but they've got but they can't investigate, because all they
Mm,
can see is you've got high LDL or you've got low HDL, whatever it is. and that's where everything stops. It's good, and it's like we
Oh,
need
that's
to
right.
treat the high LDL.
And they don't, yeah, like you said, they have no clue as to reasons why. Like if you're a lean mass hyperresponder, if you're 1 meal a day, if you've been fasting, and I think actually Todd brought this up with me a while back. I think the reasons, like some of like if you go to a local GP here in Australia, a lot of them will get you to fast before you have a blood test. And I think the reason they do that is because when you are fasted, your cholesterol level is higher. So that gives them a reason to put you on a statin. It gives you a reason to actually prescribe a drug for you,
Wow.
So it's
because it's about that.
that's
Like,
what,
because
but that's all. That's what
naturally
they're
your
directed to
LDL will
do.
go up, right?
Yeah, that's right. When you are fast, I mean, you're going to have, when you are fat adapted, which is especially after fasting, you are running on fat. So yeah, your lipids are going to be higher because you're carrying fat as energy. So your liver is going to produce more. It's going to be producing more lipids. More LDL and everything, all the rest of it. And it's the same when you're fat adapted. So, but the thing is, they have no clue about that process, and all they are looking for is a high cholesterol count so they can give you a drug. That's basically all they are trained to do, is to identify markers on a test that changes all the time. Every time you get a blood test, markers like the average range markers will always change because the average population is getting sicker and sicker. So those numbers get lower and lower, which means that it changes all the time. And of course, your markers change all the time too, depending on how you prepare for your blood test as well. But like I said, they just identify these markers that will put you in a range that is okay. Now I can give you a drug. That's it.
Yeah.
So they have no idea of the process that brings those markers, and they have no idea of how to treat those markers other than pharmaceuticals. So basically, they're just bots. Yeah. They don't think. They don't they don't make any real world observations, but they just repeat the same garbage that they learnt in school.
Sad.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Education, and problem is education is run by pharmaceutical companies and food corporations. The food industry. All right. Let's have a look at this question. Any ex-smokers that gained weight on carnivore, and how do you deal with it? And how long does it take to lose weight again, having constant cravings? I think, Dave, you were everything else. You were a smoker for some time, weren't you?
I'm an ex-smoker, but it's very XX, so way before carnivore. But
Okay.
my experience was, you gain weight, but I wouldn't have thought you would gain so much weight on carnivore. But maybe you still can overeat because you're always looking for something to do. What I would be doing is chewing gum or something like that. Keep your mouth busy.
It's
have
a habit
you
thing
guys
too,
ever
isn't it? Like the hand motion. It's a real habit thing. If you're changing your habits,
I've still got my
you got to try and try and change the bad habits for good habits. I think it's very difficult to gain weight on the carnivore diet unless you are eating too much protein. If, for example, like protein is an adaptive thing. Okay, so like what I was saying before, it's very like we can't tell you exactly how much protein you should take because there's a number of different factors involved. But a good round number, like say 1 gram per centimeter in height, okay, is good. But you also have to take into account your activity level, your age, As you get older, for example, your dietary protein is more difficult to turn into muscle protein as you get older. So then you need to take in more protein, okay, dietary wise. But there is, I mean, some people, if you're an athlete, for example, I've read papers on athletes taking up to 6 grams of protein per centimeter in height or per kilo of weight. Either way you do it, it's about the same. But that's an adaptive thing. Okay, so as your activity progresses, as your activity gets more and more, then you can like your body will need more protein, so you can eat more protein. Okay, and it'll process it much easier. So, like I said, it's a very adaptive sort of thing. But if you actually gained weight, I would probably check my A1C, because if you're having too much protein, okay, you are basically the excess protein that you're not using. It can be used like sugar, like carbohydrates. Okay, so maybe cut back on the protein grams, and gain what you. If you're still hungry, eat more fat. You should be having it, maybe double the grams in fat than what you are in protein. Okay. So, say work out, like if you're sedentary, when you say, like when I said before, like 1 gram per centimeter of height, that is your minimum protein intake. Okay, bare minimum. Okay. Then then you add your age, your activity level, and that sort of stuff, and then you add more. Okay. But if you're a sedentary person, for example, maybe try and keep it down to the minimum and increase your fat intake. Okay, double the grams to protein. All right? Fat is what satiates you, not the protein.
Yeah, I reckon this is where tracking is useful. Not necessarily tracking calories, but and I'm putting my nursing cap on here. But the more assessment you have of the situation, like DC, you're right. There's many things that come into play. It's not just going to be one thing. So I think the more we can sort of keep an eye on things and know certain trends, like there might be a certain food that you might not know of that may contain a bit of carbs. Like I know a lot of people like their bacon. So there's the sneaky things that might that might pop up in your diet that you might not think is an issue. The other thing too is I guess with tracking, you could also make changes with your diet and just do a little experiment on yourself. Maybe you just need to cut back on a couple of grams of protein or fat, and just have to play around. You're your own expert, so
yeah. I mean, depends on what else you're having with it as well. But I'm talking like if you're on a very clean carnivore diet. Some bacons, like you said, Joff, some bacons do have carbohydrates in them. Especially some of them are actually treated with seed oils and things like that too. You get those flavored bacons, like for example, some of the smoky sort of ones and whatnot. But if you get a clean bacon, they're all good.
Make your own.
Just a salt treated one. Okay.
Yeah.
But it just depends on where you get it and what you do. So, just be careful. If you have dairy as well, you get carbohydrates with as well. And you should be very careful with dairy too. Some have a lot of additives. Okay, it's very difficult in Australia. You can't get raw dairy in Australia. It's illegal because of some garbage that went on back in the 60s and 70s and shit. But it's if you look at low fat dairy, for example, is very high in sugar. Okay, so just be careful. Read the ingredients, as I always say. Don't worry about the calorie charts. Okay, that means nothing. But look at the ingredients. Okay, and if it's got anything more than like 1 or 2 ingredients, then you shouldn't be having it anyway. So, my body doesn't know what it's doing at the moment. A couple of really bad days. Was it? Could be too much supplements. No sleep, dizzy spells, vertigo.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
It could be. It could be the supplements. Supplements have like this. This is why I don't endorse any supplements at all at the moment. I don't, because a lot of them have a lot of like seed oil ingredients, vegetable gums, things that they use for binding agents. Okay, like soy. Okay, they use it as a binding agent, for example, which is just counter effective to what you want. A lot of it's plant based as well, and the fact is, supplements most of the time, 9 out of 10, you just don't absorb because it gets broken down in your stomach acid anyway. So yeah, anyone that sort of pushes a heap of supplements onto you, or says you take all these supplements, and now I get that we're all coming from different places as well. So sometimes you might need to supplement, but choose very wisely. And there are times that you could take, for example, if you take it with a fatty meal, the fat will help protect those supplements in your stomach, so you make it to digest it, and you actually pick up more of the vitamin. But other than that, really, you're really wasting your money on most of them. So just be careful. Again, check the ingredients on your supplements. Okay, there might be something in there that's not that's working against you. Okay. Let me see. Not next smoker, but last half year gained about 22 pounds, gaining weight, bulking, muscle, and fat. Certainly is possible if you increase your calorie or better mass intake. Yeah. Like I said, if you are overeating on the protein nutrients, okay, then it is possible to gain weight. And again, like you can do carnivore wrong too, like ultra processed meats, sausages and salamis and that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, another thing I should bring up is just beef alone, okay, is not enough. If you're going carnivore, I recommend mixing up your meats. Okay, like lamb, for example, is very high in omega-3s, so it's really worth eating lamb, and it's also very fatty. So it's a great fat to muscle meat ratio. Okay, like a ribeye is. And fish is great too. You have a lot of different nutrients and minerals and vitamins that you get from a selective different types of meat. And of course, the fattier the better. Okay, the more fat the better. The different types of fat as well: beef fat, lamb fat, fish fat, that sort of stuff. Okay. And
Fish is something I've got to get better at.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's easy in Japan, though.
I was just gonna say, yeah, Japan is
true. Well, I'm just lazy, but I've got to get unlazy about fish.
Yeah, chew on bacon instead of gum. Yeah, that's a good one. You're filling your body when you're chewing gum. Yeah, enzymes. You're going. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a lot of crap in chewing gum. I gotta admit. Although I will say, I'm not recommending chewing gum, okay, to anyone because it's utter garbage. But while I was going through chemotherapy, chewing gum actually numbed my mouth because it was full of ulcers. So I couldn't eat anything, and it was a lot of pain actually. I couldn't open or close it. Like my mouth was stuck open because I had literally had hundreds of ulcers in my mouth and my tongue. So chewing gum actually will numb the pain. But that's the only time I would recommend it. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, good idea, B. Yeah. Yeah, cut back on the protein, eat more fat. Like I said, it's very, very difficult unless if you eat animal fat with sugar, then it can store in. But dietary fat in general, your body will not store it. Okay, it'll just if you have too much, especially if it's already rendered, it'll just go straight through you. Okay, so it's all good.
Yep. See how it goes.
Yeah. I'm just trying to catch up here with some of the comments. Sorry, I can't sort of grab every comment, guys. Remember, if you have a question, put the Q's. Hey, Kimberly, how you doing? Greetings,
Hey,
carnivores.
Kimberly.
Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. At work, that's great.
At work,
Yes.
yeah. It's usually what I do.
Tummy bug for the last 6 days.
Yeah.
I think it was wonky salmon.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
that's never good, is it? You get a bit of food poisoning. You got to make sure you get good fresh meat. Yeah, bad salmon's not good. Actually,
Definitely not.
I had a really bad food poisoning when I was in Japan. It's not that nothing against Japan's food. I love Japanese food; it's fantastic. But I just went to the wrong place, and I had something that just did not agree with me. And for about 3 days, I was just in bed. I was throwing my guts up. Yeah, it was bad. Any of you been sick?
I'm sick currently as I'm sitting in this chair.
Okay, what are you sick from now?
Yeah. Oh, mate, I don't know. It's just, some viral thing that might be going around. I've got kids, so, they pick up all sorts of things from daycare.
Yeah. When you got kids, you're at the mercy of what's happening at school, right?
Pretty much. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult when you get kids. They pick up everything.
Yeah.
I haven't been sick for ages, actually, a long time. Which for me is really. I mean, even when I was on keto, like a cold would last me months.
Yeah.
It just sort of kept coming back on me because I just really didn't. My immune system wasn't strong enough to fight it off. But I found that if I do feel something coming on, like a sore, itchy throat, I just double up on my fat intake, and it's gone in days. Like it's like a vitamin shot. It's fantastic. And I don't take any meds anymore. I take no meds. I take no sups, or I just eat a lot of fat. And it's great. I can't believe it actually. When I think about it, the severity of the colds and flus that I used to get was it was so bad. But I haven't been sick for ages. It's great. It's fantastic. You've been struggling on carnivore diet? Anyone been struggling? I don't find it a struggle at all. I mean, like you said before, just like you save so much time. It's so easy, and like I just said, like if you're eating enough fat, you should your immune system, your lymphatic system is so healthy that it just even when you do get sick, have you found that it's much easier to deal with? Like it's just not. It's 100%. Really mild form. Yeah.
It doesn't last as long.
Much easier.
And you don't get as bogged down. Like if this was me 3 years ago, I'd be in bed right now.
So it's really mild form, isn't it?
The last time I was sick, it was maybe a month ago, and it went through the whole family at the same time. I was the last one to get it, and I suffered the least and got over it quickest out of the three of us.
Yeah, that's cool. Thoughts on amino acids, and do we get enough of them in meat?
100%.
You want to answer that?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So you don't supplement amino acids?
Nope. We can get enough of it from animal meats. So long as you're eating to satiety, you're eating species specific carnivore diet, you'll get all the amino acids you need, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah.
I don't take
if you
any
are,
supplements or anything.
yeah, if you are finding it difficult to eat to satiety, okay, because it depends on where you get your meat, the combinations of meats. Like I said, you should mix it up. Like beef alone is not enough. Okay, then supplementing with like a good amino acid with no flavorings or colorings or anything like that, okay, can be good. Okay, can be beneficial if you're not getting enough protein from not eating enough food. But if you are eating enough, you should be right. You should have your body should be getting all of the amino acids that you need for your activity. So, it just depends on what your diet's like and where you are at and where you're coming from. Like if you are, it might help if you for example, you've been stuck in a chair or a bed for a long time, so you're really sedentary and you have a lot of muscle wastage. I can see supplementing amino acids might help because it will help you gain muscle and bone tissue a lot faster in that circumstance. But it depends on where you're at too. So. Question, DC, how do you get more fat? You personally? Okay, well, for one thing, I save sometimes when I eat bacon, for example, like a clean bacon, the excess fat, nice fatty bacon, I'll save the bacon grease, for example. I also buy fat from like fat trimmings from the butcher, and so I like to just dice them up, air fry them, or fry them in the fry pan, and like I'll just eat the chunks with just salt, just fat chunks of salt with salt. And even after cooking that, the rendered fat, I'll save that, and I cook everything in that fat afterwards too. Like if when I have a steak, for example, it's almost deep fried because I put a lot of fat in the pan, and it's absolutely delicious. So I get as much fat as I can, and if for example, like in summer, I find cold butter is really good because you don't always, when it's hot weather, you don't always feel like eating hot meals or just cooked fat. So butter's good as well. How about you guys? What do you do? Do you eat excess fat or just with your meat?
You go first, Dave.
Sorry, I'm just looking for my mute button. I don't need anything extra. I find that I'm like with the ground beef that I'm eating, there's already way too much fat in that for me. So I guess it's because I'm not particularly active. But I don't add anything extra. How about you, Joff?
Well, currently, right now, I am under a coaching program with our mutual friend of ours, Jonathan Griffiths. So I'm following a program with him in bodybuilding. So right now, I'm not adding any extra fat. Actually, I'm cutting a little bit on the fat for the duration of time, but in my, I guess, usual day-to-day outside of any sort of programming or regime, I'm like you, DC. I get the fat trimmings from the butcher. I think that's the best way to get the most efficient way to get fat, because a lot of butchers where I live just give it away for free, and you can just render your own
a lot
fat.
of them do. Yeah. Just amazing how much the body can change in 1 year. I went from 86 kilo down to 82 and finally back up to 97. Never experienced this pre-carnivore. Yeah, feeling better than ever. Excellent. Very good. Yeah, see, that's another thing. Don't worry about weight. Okay, weight means nothing. Okay, what matters is inches. Okay, or centimeters. Okay, your measurements. That's what matters. All right. Weight, like a carnivore is going to be heavier than like if say the same size body, like a twin brothers in the same size body. The carnivore is going to be heavier because you have denser bone tissue and denser muscle tissue. Okay, because you're feeding it the right nutrients. So don't you throw the scales away. Okay, honestly it means nothing.
Hmm.
Do you have any pets? Are they carnivore? How about
I
you
don't
guys? You got
I've got a
any
personally.
cat.
pets?
I've got a cat that shares my ground beef with me.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I don't have a pet, but actually I do feed wild birds in my backyard, and yes, they are carnivore, magpies and butcher
Nice.
birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they eat meat.
Nice.
Um, yeah, so that's all good. Um, I'm wondering about your first year carnivore while your body is actually. I was just thinking, Joff, the reason you might have got sick is because you're cutting back on your fat.
Yeah. Look, probably is that, but I'm looking at my kids and they're sick too, so it's probably from daycare as well.
Yeah,
Just the and that's the thing, like everyone's saying they're avoiding all the bugs and stuff, but because I'm in contact and as well, I work in the hospital, so
yeah, yeah.
it
There's
doesn't
always
help
something
that
going on in the
there's
hospital.
always something going around, so it's
Yeah,
never a clear cut thing for me.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I hate going to the hospital. Honestly, when I go to the hospital, I get home. I pretty much just scrub down afterwards.
shower.
I
Yeah,
shower straight in the shower, clothes straight in the wash, and I just
yeah,
it's completely scrubbed down.
yep.
I'm wondering about your first year at carnivore while your body is doing so much healing. I just can't tell much difference taking them. Thinking maybe I don't need them. Yeah, I mean,
Mm,
try going without the subs, and see
yeah.
how you feel. If you don't notice a difference, then just stop wasting your money. Easy.
Mm,
It's always good to experiment. You know,
100%. Mm,
Yeah.
lamb shoulder roast is always nice and fatty. Yeah, I can eat it. Yeah, yeah. Lamb's great. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Let me see. I'll try and keep up with all these. Another question. Very true, DC. Also, what do you think about seasonal effects? Yeah, I think weight naturally increases. Yes, it does. Very much so. Your body is designed to gain before, for the cold winter. Okay, because that's what we would naturally do. The harsh winter, we need more body fat, so your body just naturally stores as it gets cooler. So it's always very difficult to lose weight through winter. Okay, and that's why if you're okay, for example, bodybuilders, winter is a bulking season. Okay, for that reason, because it is very difficult to stay lean through winter. Okay, yeah. And most athletes are like that. That's why you have like most sports are summer sports and that sort
that's
of
some
stuff as
sport.
well. So,
Mm,
um, but for the average sedentary people, I don't think you really need to worry too much about it. And like I said, just don't worry about weight. Full stop, because it means nothing. And
mm,
another thing is like especially your first couple of years, depending on where you're coming from, your body takes time to heal. And if you're worried about body fat, for example, your body will heal first, and it will wait to heal first before, and then it will drop out all the body fat. Okay,
yeah.
it's not going to do it until your metabolism is healed. Okay, your stomach, your lymphatic system, and all your hormone production. Okay, that's why I
Mm,
keep saying, like, think about your lymphatic system. It needs the fats, okay, and the nutrients and everything else that comes with the muscle meat to heal, to push that lymph fluid around your body to heal, to create all the hormones and everything like that your liver produces, your cholesterol produces, your endocrine system, your thyroid, all of that relies on that lymph fluid initially to get your hormone production going properly so that your body can heal, and then it will drop the weight, okay, the body fat. So just give it time, let your body go through the process. Your body knows exactly what it is doing and what to do next, okay? It always knows better than what you do. Yeah. And especially any other doctor too. So trust your body, trust the process. And just as long as you're eating the right food and giving it the right nutrients, your body will do the rest. It's very easy. Yeah. Okay. So, anyone want to add to that, or
No.
sound all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. You're very lazy today, Dave. You're just sitting there very quietly in the corner.
I'm all
You're right. You're muted again.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, just letting you go for it.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I brought along some. Until we get a next question, I brought along some pretty some information some people may not be aware of. I've got a couple of pages here. Some of the biggest of inventions that come out of Australia. Okay, so I'm going to test your knowledge here.
All right.
For example, let me see. For example, some people may not know that one invention, the black box flight recorder, came out of Australia. Do you know what color the black box flight recorder is?
Ooh.
No.
Orange?
It's bright orange.
Oh, wow.
It's called a black box flight recorder. But because originally it was black, but then they when they're trying to find it, in a wreckage, like a plane wreckage, they needed to be able to spot it very easily, so they started painting them very bright orange. Nice guess.
Designed in Australia. Wow.
Yeah, I heard it was designed in Australia.
Yeah, the box, box wine, cask wine. That was in Australia as well. Yeah,
I believe that one.
Yeah.
Australians are a bunch of drinkers, mate. Okay.
Sure.
Another one is spray on skin. Yeah, spray on skin. Have you ever heard of that?
Like deodorant?
No. This is actually spray on skin. Okay.
The burn victims.
A Perth-based plastic surgeon, Professor Fiona Wood, patented her spray on skin technique. Okay, this is for burn victims and things like that. Okay, the patch of the victim's healthy skin and using it to grow new skin cells in a laboratory. Okay, so it's actually called spray on skin. Another one is the electronic pacemaker for your heart.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
In Australia?
Yeah, invented in Australia. I'll give you some dates actually, and this is going back quite far. Some of them. Let me see. I'll give you some dates. In 1938, the prepaid postage stamp was first used in Australia, and something everyone uses every day worldwide now. But in 1854, the refrigerator.
That's an Aussie thing?
That's an Aussie thing.
Really?
Yeah, the refrigerator was very good, Sandra. The rotary clothesline and the Hills hoist. They were invented in Australia as well.
I believe that.
So here's where two Aussie inventions come together. You get your wine cask and you
the goon bag,
clip it onto the rotary and you spin it around, right?
Yep. That's where it's come. Yep.
It sounds like a drinking game.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a funny one.
The Dodge Brothers salt sprayed on.
Yeah. So 1854. That was. I didn't realize it was so old actually. But yeah, I knew the refrigerator was invented in Australia, but yeah, the Frigidaire and that Westinghouse. But it was 1854. Here's another one that I didn't know. In 1874, a 22-year-old clockmaker, a watchmaker, invented the underwater torpedo. Another
Oh, wow.
Australian invention. Wow. Yeah.
How does a watchmaker come up with a torpedo?
With a torpedo, yeah.
Well, it's all clockworks inside, basically.
Right.
So
Okay.
that would actually make sense, because it's all gears, just like a clock, because torpedoes also have timers on when to explode as well. So like a range. So they have to set a range. Yeah. So like for example, when you on a submarine, they set the range on the torpedo. So if the ship they're trying to torpedo is like 200 meters away, they have to set like a clock on the torpedo 200 meters.
Right. Oh,
otherwise it'll just hit it and then it'll wait until it sort of dials out and then explodes. So
wow, makes sense.
Yeah, but I didn't realize how old it was either, or that it was Australian.
1800s.
Here's another one might get you. In 1889, in Melbourne City's Council's first electrical engineer, Arthur James Arnott, patented the world's first electric drill.
Oh,
wow!
Yeah,
there you go.
Something that people use these things all the time, and we just take it for granted, But they're actually really old products that actually were invented here in Australia.
So if you gave me a list of these things, I think there's probably only the two that I would have picked out of there as Australian inventions would have been the rotary clothesline and the wine cask. Everything else, America, Germany, England.
Yeah, I mean, if you know Australians, like the wine cask would make sense.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, everything else would be like, are you sure? Yeah.
You guys call it goon bags as well, or goon?
Goon?
Goon, yeah. That's how I've always known.
My younger friends, when I worked at another school, they used to call it a goon bag.
Yeah, goon bags.
Oh, okay, goon bag.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Or what was it, Bevan bag? Same thing, I guess. Yeah. But okay, here's one I guarantee you didn't know. 1894, powered flight.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah. After discovering that, powered flight. I'll show you. And he flew like 5 meters, but after discovering that curved surfaces are more aerodynamic than flat ones, Lawrence Hargrave invented the box kite, the cellular construction of which was more stable than the previous monoplanes. On November 12, 1894, he strapped 4 box kites together with a compressed air engine, which he also invented, tethered to the ground with piano wire, and managed to fly a short 5 meters. That was the first. Yeah. It's only 5 meters, but it was powered flight with an air compressed engine that he invented as well. That's impressive.
Right.
Wow.
This is 1894.
Yeah.
I mean, the Wright brothers did like the first like airplane thing, but the first flight, I mean, it's just 4 box kites tied together. It's not an airplane. But that was the first flight. Yeah. So there's a difference between the airplane and the actual flight. But the first airplane to actually fly was the Wright brothers.
Interesting.
Yeah. In the Vegan Book of Facts, it says that the steam engine was invented in Tasmania in 1492. Yeah. Here's another one. Actually, I probably just wouldn't even think of is the notepad in 1902. Yeah.
Notepad.
J.A. Birchall of Tasmanian Stationery Company. Yeah, Birchall was the first person to take loose sheets of paper, cut them in half, and back them with a cardboard, glued them to the top
Right.
edge, and he sold them as notepads.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah, I
there
wouldn't
you
have
go.
guessed that. No.
And it sounds kind of it sounds a little bit like nothing now, but back in the
Yeah.
day, back then, it would have been such a big thing, right?
Well, it's
Absolutely.
quite innovative, really, wouldn't it? It would be
Yeah.
like a very innovative thing. But now, whenever you got to jot something down, you go straight for the
Yeah.
notepad, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
pretty much.
you know, like I've got like 4 notepads on my desk. You know, so
Yeah.
like, because you're always writing stuff down, but you just wouldn't even think of it. You know,
Mm.
Yeah.
you wouldn't even think like, who invented this? Who's that?
Yeah.
Vegans only invented nagging. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, liquid paper. Yeah,
I
that's
thought
another
it
good
was a New
invention.
Zealand thing. Liquid paper.
It could be. I'm not sure. Yeah, but here's another one. I guarantee you didn't know. 1906. A feature-length film. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The first ever full feature-length film was made by Australians and shot and shown in Australia. The story of the Kelly Gang was written and directed by Charles Tate,
Oh
and it
yeah.
cost a grand total of £1,000 to make, and it made
Wow.
around £25,000 for the producers. So there you go.
Wow.
Ah, Kelly Gang.
So
That'd be in Kelly, right?
Hollywood should be in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Question, Dave, did you get my email?
Most probably. I've had about I've had quite a few emails over the last couple of days, and I haven't quite got through them all. I have to do them in batches. So, yes, I did, because I replied to the first one. I just haven't replied to the second one, and I apologize for that. It's just because I'm batching my emails. So I will get back to you. Sorry about that, Sandra.
This is funny. Yeah. What do they call New Zealand? The land of the long white cloud, because it's one of God's biggest mistakes. That's pretty funny.
So, being
man.
as we're telling jokes, I saw this joke online. You probably, as you're both in Australia, you've probably seen it. But there was this kid telling a joke on the Today Show or something. He had to call in and tell a joke, and the joke was,
Who wins society?
Yeah, vegan and a vegetarian jump off a cliff. Who wins society? Yeah, that was a pretty funny joke.
That was really funny. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, actually, I think change it a little bit. Like a vegan and a politician jump off a cliff. That would be better.
Yep.
Why did post-it notes get stuck onto the wall or fridge instead of being posted? That's a good question. Yeah. Or should people post them to themselves as a reminder? Who would do that? Yeah, not a bad question.
I do it a lot at work.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so let's see. Of course, I think some people might know this one, but 1906 surf life-saving reel. The rope that surf lifesavers use, and in fact, surf lifesaving actually started in Australia as well. So, surf lifesaving and the surf lifesaving reel, the actually rope that they use to sort of make sure that they can come back. Yeah, that all came out of Australia as well.
Wow.
That's probably not that unsurprising, really, because of all the beaches, but there you go. But also in 1927, the Speedos.
The budgie smugglers.
Yeah, the budgie smugglers.
Yeah. Budgie smugglers. Yeah. Now, the next one is very obscure. This guy actually invented it, but never got the credit for it until much later. In 1911, the tank was invented by an Australian. Okay.
Really?
Adelaide-born Lancelot Eldon de Mol, must be a European name, I guess, was struck with the idea for an armored vehicle that ran on treads. He sent sketches and description of his design to the British War Office, only to be informed in June 1913 that his idea had been rejected. When in 1916 an inferior, in de Mol's opinion, tank was introduced, the engineer released that he had been passed over. A British Royal Commission later said that de Mol's design had made and reduced the practical shape as far back as the year 1912, a brilliant invention which anticipated and in some respects surpassed the actual that actually put into use in the year 1916. So there you go.
Wow.
The actual inventor of a tank was an Adelaide-born Australian.
From Adelaide.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I didn't know. Maybe, well, I probably knew half of them, but I certainly wouldn't have thought a tank or a torpedo, for example. The rotary clothes hoist we were talking about before. Everyone pretty much knows this one. The rotary clothes hoist was actually in 1911. And then in 1948 came the Hills hoist. Yeah,
Okay.
they were great. When I was a kid, like that was pretty much our backyard entertainment. You wind up the Hills hoist, you hang on to it, and just use it like those what are those turntable things?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get you.
I forget what they're called, but playgrounds. Kids at the playgrounds have, they always had. You sort of spin it as hard as you can until you fall off, and go flying into the fence or something.
Nearly everyone in everyone's backyard looked like it was broken, or like the kind of the wires were stretched beyond belief.
Yeah, they're
kids have been
stretched.
playing on them,
Yeah, the wires were always really stretched. I mean, that was quite tensile, like steel cable too, but kids hanging on to them all the time. They stretched out.
Yeah, more durable than a lot of things they build nowadays.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Here's another one. Like we said before, the pacemaker. The pacemaker was invented in Australia in 1928.
Wow.
That's almost 100 years ago. That's pretty good.
Crazy.
Carousels. Yeah, thank you, Sandra. Yeah, carousels. Yeah, they were fun. The old carousel. You get your mates to push it as fast as you can. Run like a bat out of hell, just spinning in a circle. Jump on, and you see how long you hold on until you get flown off.
Oh dear.
And there was no soft landing if you fell off then either, right?
Oh,
you fell off onto concrete or tan bark or something like that.
Or
right?
gravel. Yeah.
Gravel, yep.
Get gravel rash all up your legs. Yeah, growing up in Australia back in the day. 1934 was the first ute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the ute is also an Australian invention. It's actually, I think it was a farmer's wife. She wanted a car that she could drive to church on Sunday and pick up hay bales and stuff like that as well during the week. And so they sent a letter to Ford in Australia, and in 1934 came out the first utility. Or Americans would call it pickup truck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever anyone says ute to me, it reminds me of this guy I used to know when I was in my early 20s, and you'd say, "What did you do on the weekend?" And he said, "I just did some circle work." And he's like doing figure eights in some paddock or something in his ute.
Yeah. Very good. Let's see. There's actually, I think that Tetra packaging might be an Aussie invention. Oh, that's interesting. No, I didn't know that. There you go.
I read that as Telstra. Sorry.
Yeah, in the days when men were beasts and kids all had plaster cast on. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, had a few of those.
Mm.
Okay, 1939. Like this is not just an Australian invention sort of thing, but the first medical application for penicillin. This was a team in
Really?
Oxford University, but the team leader Howard Florey was an Australian.
Wow.
And he actually used to
Wow.
be on the when we had paper notes. He was on the $50 note.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Ah,
which
okay.
is another Australian invention. Actually, is polymer notes. Australian money is
Yeah,
all
yeah,
plastic. Yeah, the notes
yeah,
are all plastic polymer. Yeah,
yeah,
that's an Australian invention as well.
yeah.
So, mm.
It's weird going back to Australia for a holiday and you're trying to put the money in your wallet and it's slipping and sliding everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The good thing is that you can wash it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can wash it. Yeah, that's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
The shepherd casters in 1946. Little casters you get on the bottom of furniture and
Oh, yeah.
luggage. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's
George
an
Shepherd.
Australian invention.
Yeah,
Wow.
from Melbourne. Yeah.
Yeah, Melbourne's representing today.
Yeah.
Here's another one that from the CSIRO division of chemical physics. It's an atomic absorption spectrophotometer, a spectrophotometer in 1952. It analyzes samples by examining how they absorb light when in gas form to determine how much metal is present in said sample. So, if you want to test like how much metal is in a certain gas sort of thing. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
I think most people know this one though. 1952, the Victor rotary mower, the first engine like powered gas powered lawnmower was the Victor. That was Australian
Yeah, yeah.
invention. Yeah,
It makes sense.
yeah, that makes sense actually. A lot of grass here.
Yeah.
Here's another one. In 1960, plastic spectacle lenses.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought they were fairly like 80s, maybe 90s sort of invention. But yeah, in 1960, plastic lenses for your glasses. Yeah, spectacles.
Cool.
And 1961, the ultrasound.
I heard that. Yep.
The ultrasound too. Wow.
Yeah. Well, the ultrasound itself was not an Australian invention, but the technology for ultrasound was already invented, but the use for scans and tests and things like that in medical use was an Australian invention. Yeah, so Australian application. So that's I didn't realize it went as far back as 1961 though. But box wine, cask wine, that was 1965. So,
wow.
1984, audio tactile pedestrian detector.
I think that beeps.
The thing that beeps. You push the button to change the lights, change the signal, so you get walk signal. Yeah, with audio. In 1984, that was it starts beeps so that blind people can know when it's time to cross the road. Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, polymer banknotes. Yeah, very good, Alan. And cochlear implant. Cochlear implants were also Australian invention.
Cochlear
Wasn't IVF pioneered in Australia?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
And eye surgery, like what was it? What's his name? Is an Australian doctor. He does eye reconstruction surgery. That was first done in Australia.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
If I remember correctly, it might have been the first heart transplant as well. So,
Mm.
Wow.
yeah. 1970, Stay Sharp knives.
Oh wow.
Stay sharp, nice. Okay.
And in 1970, permaculture.
Mm.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Off Australia's
permaculture
thing.
farming.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Right.
started in Australia. So now this one I didn't know. The power board, 1972. You know the multi-plug
Yeah. Yeah.
power boards.
Well,
Yeah,
yep.
invented in Australia in
Wow.
1972. Yeah, so
Wow.
it's 52 years old. Wow.
Cool.
Yep. There's another one, and yeah, the winged keel on the bottom of
The
yachts.
weird keel. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have a keel for balance. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
the winged keel is it was first invented for the Australia the yacht race. What was it called?
The America's
Uh,
Cup.
America's Cup.
the America's Cup. That's right. The America's Cup yacht race in 1983. Yeah, the
Oh,
Australia
so
2 yacht
Australia
was
too.
the
Yeah.
first. Yeah, they have the wing keel. They use the wings because when you're racing, when the keel tilts, okay, when the yacht tilts, the wings give it, keep the sort of keel at the same like level all the way across because the wings are there on the side. So it's really cool.
Right. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So the wing keel, so it made it very fast. The bionic ear in 1978, the bionic ear implant, the
Wow.
hearing aid. Yeah,
Good.
Mm.
1978. Another one.
Wow. There's so many.
In 1979, the digital sampler. Okay. So if you're one
Really?
of those people who like electronic music, okay,
Yeah.
if you like electronic music, the digital sampler came out of Australia. So all you
Mm.
DJs and everything like that, okay, you can thank
Mm.
Australia or you can blame Australia. Either way, if you don't like that music, yeah, yep, 1889, the electric drill. That's right.
See?
Yeah. So yeah,
Wow.
race cam. Race cam is another one. In 1979, it was the 1979. The race cam. You know the cam like when you watching the races now.
When you're watching races, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
race cam that was invented in Australia as
Oh
well.
wow.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, first prime minister to kill a shark with a cricket bat. Yeah. Yeah, very good, Ian. Actually, that's very right. That's right. In
Wi-Fi, yeah.
1992, the CSIRO, Australian invention of Wi-Fi technology.
Oh
Yeah, that came
wow.
from Australia. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, that's right. 1992. And in 1980, the dual flush toilet. So you got, half flush and full flush. Yeah.
Yep.
That was
Yeah.
Australia too. Oh
That
wow.
that's an Australian thing. You don't see that anywhere around the world.
Yeah. Yeah. We're the only ones that want to try and save water.
Yeah.
It literally falls from the sky, but we got to save it. I hate those. Yeah, I hate those power saving toilets. Yeah, you got to set those things to kill every time. Not
Yeah.
not this stun bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
I think the more water, the better. All right.
pretty much.
Yeah. Hey, Jonathan's in the house. G'day, mate. How you doing?
Hey,
Hey
Coach.
Jonathan.
Full and half
We've had
flush.
full and half flush for at least 25 years, and yeah. You guys are lucky to have indoor plumbing, mate. Now I found something to blame Aussie for. They had digital sound. Yeah, exactly. Sorry about that. It wasn't us.
Nah.
In 1983, embryo freezing that started in Australia.
Mm.
Yeah, cryopreservation of embryos. That was the first IVF was done in 1978.
Yep.
That was also done in Australia. Okay.
Wow.
Polymer banknotes, baby safety capsules, 1984. You would think, you know, the amount of years that we've been driving now, like cars are, you know, 140 odd years old now. You would think that someone would have thought of a baby seat before 1984, but there you go.
But the things we used to do, right, before that, they were probably strapped to the roof or something. Like,
yeah.
we-
Well, you remember those old cars like the old Fords? They used to, like, in the back, kind of like, they never had a boot space or a trunk space. They had a dicky seat. Like my old man, when my old man was a kid, he sat in the back, like in the dicky seat. Right, there's no seat belts or anything, and in the footwell was the fuel tank.
Yeah.
Right? So basically, he's sitting on top of a big container of fuel.
Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised any of them made it out alive. You know, right? And at that time too, like, you know, it was no one, like, it was fine to drink and drive as well. You know, like my old man, he tell me some stories of, like, his father would get drunk, go to the cricket. They play cricket all day, and they'd get drunk, and he'd work because he was so drunk he couldn't drive. So but his mother couldn't drive, so he would work the pedals and change the gears, and she would steer from the passenger seat on the way home. It's crazy. Just crazy. Well, he sits in the back dicky seat on top of a fuel tank. All right. 90s, spray on skin, we did that one. Wi-Fi, we did that one. 1992. Passport security measures, 1995. That was first started in Australia. So, yeah, another sorry about that one. Everyone. Yeah. Anti-flu medication, an inhalant flu medication that was made by Zenamifer. Yeah. I don't think we'll go into that sort of stuff at the moment because it's a lot of that stuff actually is Australia. Like Griffith University, also the part of the flu clot shots and whatnot. They actually can trace. You know, they actually can track you, and they can tell if you are social distancing and things like that. That was all invented in Australia, and also shedding was another Australian invention because they used it for mice plagues, because you can't go and inject every mouse, so you just inject one and it sheds to the rest of them. You know,
right?
Another Australian invention. So yeah, not something that we should be proud of.
No.
Stop shot blast glass. Okay, so bulletproof glass that that doesn't shatter. 2004. Wow. Here's one you might be surprised, actually. Google Maps.
No.
Yeah.
That's an Aussie thing?
Google Maps actually began as a C+ program designed at Sydney-based Where To Technologies. That's what the company is called. So Sydney-based Where To Technologies.
I remember their website. Yeah. Google bought them.
Yeah. So the project was the brainchild of two brothers, Lars and Jens Rasmussen, who originally intended the product as a downloadable app. However, when the company needed venture capital, they pitched the program to Google as a web-based application. Google bought Where To Technologies in 2004. So they bought the company. And Google Maps was announced in 2005. So, yeah. Australian invention, Google Maps in 2003. So that's just a few of the Aussie inventions. Quite a number of them.
That's quite a lot, I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm surprised that some of them are so old, actually. Like, especially like the refrigerator is so old. I mean, like, I knew Australia was an Australian invention, but 1856, I didn't realize how old it was. And some of those other things like the torpedo and whatnot, that surprised me, actually. So,
electric drill as well. 1800s.
Yeah, electric drill. Yeah. So many things we just use today that you just wouldn't think about. and
Yeah.
so it's quite impressive, I think.
Yeah.
Let me see. That's another one. Yeah, 1957. Yeah, permanent crease clothing is another Australian invention. Yeah, pleats and creases like in dresses and skirts and suits and that. Yeah. So yeah. That's another one actually. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
didn't
remember
mention.
that. Yep, the inflatable
Yeah,
slides. Yep.
yeah, inflatable slides.
Oh, wow.
And also the life rafts. Actually, are also Australian inventions. So inflatable life rafts, Australian inventions. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so this it's quite surprising actually. I a lot of those I didn't know, and especially the age of some of those products. Like 1928 for the original pacemaker.
Yeah. Yep.
That's quite impressive.
Very.
You kind of think
Yeah.
like you just don't think like 100 years, 150 years ago, they didn't really have much. But they did quite a bit. Joff, what's the guns?
Bro, I is that a joke or?
Yeah,
Oh
he
god.
likes to do that one. Yeah. Well, there's almost a bump there.
Oh yeah, it's a little one. It's getting there.
Very good. We'll have to, you just down the road. We'll have to head up to the gym,
I
mate.
can't believe that. Yeah, I didn't realize you're in Brisbane.
Yeah. Just down the road. It's Deception's Bay. It's not real far actually. I go
I'll just yell
to.
out. I'll just yell out, and I'll just see if you're around the corner.
Yeah,
Probably hear
I'll
me.
flash the light, mate. You should see it from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my favorite pastime.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Any questions, anyone? Please get them in if you got any questions. Otherwise, we might head off for the night and let you good people go have or day, morning, wherever you are. Yeah. Any parting words of advice, Dave?
Stay the distance, stay the course. If if you're just getting started with carnivore, and you're not losing weight in the first 3 weeks or something, don't worry about it. It'll happen. It's just everyone's different. So just stay the course. And thank you for joining us. Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Joff, anything from you?
Anytime, Jonathan, if you want to jump on, mate, you're more than welcome. Yeah, anytime, buddy. Joff, any parting words of advice?
Oh man, my parting words would be to, for guys and girls who are starting on this journey, keep an open mind and just question everything. You've got to, you've got this far to try something that is going against the grain, as they would say. And so it's important to ask the questions, ask, better yourself with new information, because no one else is going to do it for you.
Yeah. That's right. Be prepared to question everything. It's really not that hard to do a bit of research for yourself. Especially if you are having any kind of health issues, try to learn as much about it as you can and find the best way for you to move forward from there. I always say this, if you are going through any kind of issues, or any kind of problems, sometimes, it looks like a mountain in front of you, and it's very daunting when you look at it. But if you just focus on the next step, just take it one step at a time, you will always get there. So just take it one day at a time, one meal at a time if you have to, and just keep going, and you will get there. There's another good one there too, is test yourself. Don't be afraid to test yourself. See how you feel on different foods. It's not going to, I mean, you might waste a day. So what? Or you might waste a month. Who cares? You know, give yourself time. All right. And that's all you really need to do. Trust that your body knows what it needs. It knows what to do, and it will do it as long as you give it the right food. Okay. All right, everyone. Thanks very much. Have a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great night. See you next time.
Cheers, guys.
All right. See you guys.